Once Human, like many RPGs, is the type of game that has a ton of weapons to choose from, whether you want to use an LMG and shoot for 30 minutes straight without having to reload, or you want to use an SMG that absolutely is masochist and kills you and deals damage to you as you shoot it, but instead you get increased fire rate, increased damage, all those things all the way down to if you want to role play as your favorite hunter and use a crossbow. There's essentially a pick for everyone. But what pick is the best pick? Well, I wanted to figure that out for myself, and I thought I'd share some of the findings with you. Again, I just want to say none of these guns are perfectly outfitted to have the best possible build right now. If you want to use any of these guns, you need to research the right build for them, get the right build, and then that's when you're going to get the high performance out of them that these guns can offer you. Throughout my testing that you're going to see in the footage, there's no actual mod. I'm not putting mods in. I don't have the best gear set for it. None of them are maxed calibration. They're all just tier 5 calibration 0, with the exception of my critical pulse crossbow at the beginning, which is max calibration with a purple crappy mod in it because I can't seem to get a better power surge mod. But stick around. If you want to just skip ahead a couple of minutes, you'll get straight to the meat and potatoes of the video. I just want to say, yes, there are best guns in this game, but just like anything else, this is my opinion. This is what I've noticed. This is what I figured out through testing. And I really invite you to come and flame the hell out of me in the comments because I think it would be funny and I think it would be a good time. Give me your opinion on guns. A big part of it is how it feels in your hands and how the gun feels when you're using it. So if there's a gun type or an archetype that you really enjoy, use it. Who cares? You're still going to be able to clear content with it. This is just more for people that just want to know, what should I spend my star crom on, because it is an ever so valuable resource. Anyway, enough bullshit. Let's go ahead and get into it. For our first weapon, and my absolute favorite, it's got to go with the critical pulse crossbow. Now this thing is a power surge crossbow, and what it does is it obviously does power surge, but it drops these particles on the ground, and if you pick them up, you enter what the game calls a charged state. And if you shoot an enemy while in a charged state, as you can see, it'll create a chain lightning effect, making this thing the undisputed champion of crowd control and doing excess damage when there's several enemies around. By far my favorite weapon, especially because arrows are so cheap to craft. Now, as sort of an honorable mention, I want to point out the DE50 Wildfire. You should absolutely get this gun for supporting any of your weapons. So essentially what it does is it will add the bullseye, which marks a target, and it will increase the damage they take by 8%, which inflicts them with vulnerability. So as you'll see here in the background, I go down here and I kill this bear, and I inflict it with bullseye, and then I immediately swap to my primary weapon, which in this clip happens to be my crossbow, and I can then do 8% more damage when I hit them. And this is for any player around who hits a marked target, they're going to do 8% more damage. And this is DE50 Wildfire. And then next, for the shotgun category, we have the Pyroclasm Starter ACS12. This is a fire or a burn implementing shotgun. And as you can see, it's fully automatic and it applies burn. So 27% chance to cause burn on hit. And then it'll also generate a deviated particle, which will put you in a charged state. And if you reload while in the charged state, it actually puts like dragon's breath on your next magazine of ammo. I'm not personally a fan of shotguns in Once Human. They just feel very lackluster. They don't feel like they have the punch. But as you can see here on this dummy, I mean, this thing does insane DPS. It's just not for me. And then for the sniper rifle, we have the Hammer HAMR Brahmini. This is pretty much everyone's go-to sniper rifle. It doesn't do a lot of DPS, but with its bounce having a weak spot priority of 100%, that means the bullet will always bounce to a weak spot. And with this, as you can see, it doesn't do a ton of damage, but if you build a build around bounce and shrapnel, you can get this thing to one-shot most enemies in the game easily, if not going to do it at base. But I'm not a huge fan of snipers in this game. I just, in oncehuman, I like to go, you know, burr, and I like to shoot like crazy. But if I want to save ammo or be careful with my ammo, I always go with the hammer and Brahmi. It just seems to work. Next up, we have probably my favorite gun to use, which is the M416 Silent Anabasis. This is the Frost Vortex AR, and this thing is a monster. Frost Vortex has gotten quite a few changes since launch, and I think if you tried it out initially and you didn't like it, you should definitely give this gun a go. When it comes to Frost Vortex, it is the creme de la creme. This thing is an absolute monster. As you can see, it does just a ton of DPS, especially to enemies that are in close proximity with each other. On top of that, it's a ton of fun to use. It looks really good. It sounds really good. It's easily my favorite gun on this list. The next gun we have for the pistol category is the G17 Glock. Now, personally, I wouldn't use pistols as main weapons in this game. I would use them as supports if they have a buff that allows for that. Unfortunately, the G17 doesn't. With that said, it's going to be your highest DPS pistol. I mean, as you can see, this thing is straight out of Borderlands. Whenever he reloads, he throws the gun, it explodes. You do have to be careful, though, as this will chew through your ammo like nobody's business. It is unstable bomber, which a lot of people think is really fun. Just not the best status out there right now. But other than that, it's a fun gun. It's just not something I would prioritize your StarCrum on early on. As you can see here, even if you have a full magazine, you can still throw it and waste 15 bullets to do that little bit of bombered damage. But it is what it is. It's not the best gun. It's not the worst. Next, for the SMG, we have the MPS5 Primal Rage. Now, this thing is nuts. It does give you the fast gunner buff, which is great, but the main reason to use this gun is because, as you'll see in the clip, it will start to chew down your health. The lower your health gets, the stronger the gun gets. It does increased damage based on HP missing. So this is really good paired with a chest mod that gives you the shield, or the mod that when you use a deviation, you get a shield. This is super popular right now because it essentially gives you a minigun for the price of an SMG. And because in the Lunar Moon, you're using a lot of, you know, low health builds, this thing absolutely goes nuts. Last but not least, we do have the Conflicting Memories MG4, which is the LMG or light machine gun. Same thing, you can get it in the StarCrom shop for 8,000 StarCrom. This thing does shrapnel damage, which is really popular right now, as a lot of the mods really lean into shrapnel, almost as if it's something oncehuman is sort of looking at pushing. I don't necessarily recommend it unless you love shrapnel or are running a shrapnel build. I would go for the KVD Boom Boom. It's just easier to run the KVD without a, you know, super meta build. But if you're willing to grind and you're willing to make sure that you get the best possible mods, this is going to be the best performing LMG currently. But it depends on you and what you value in a gun and what you enjoy. Now, I don't really need to bring up melee because that's all form factor, but I do want to bring up the long axe. If you heavy attack with it, you will get Fortress Warfare, which makes you, you know, swing your, reload your weapons faster. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what's going on with you, how you're enjoying oncehuman during this season, and let me know if there's any guns that you think I absolutely missed the mark on, or maybe I forgot about or didn't include. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys next time.